Okay, so we're going to readjust the sail slightly with what we're doing, and we're going to go over some of the planning moving forward, guys. So we're going to change and navigate. As I mentioned, as we sort of discussed earlier, I can fully appreciate it's a challenging situations, but we've identified the challenges, and now we're going to rise to the challenges. But what I want to say moving forward is what you've no doubt heard me say, and I'll say a number of occasions, that if anyone is ever feeling a bit down, struggling a bit, it's an open discussion. I know obviously I'm on the other side of the world. It's not easy to contact me over the phone. You can email me, contact the coaches. Please don't, if you're feeling, down or frustrated, hold it in, speak. And obviously, talking's a good thing, but beyond that, obviously, if you need any extra support, then we can sort of suggest that you sort of, whatever steps they are, whether it's to go to a GP, a referral, clinical, I don't know. It's not an easy situation you find yourselves in. And I speak from experience as well. So, I want to encourage you to speak. Every week we'll do a check-in for 15 minutes, what we've done today, and check in on how everyone's doing. And, if you don't feel comfortable saying, you can put in the chat room, whatever. It's really important. We have to look after, mental health. That's really important. And I use the analogy I've used 100 times before. If someone's got a broken leg, they go to the whatever without any sort of feeling of shame. But mental health, sometimes there's still a stigma around that. People are scared to speak, that they're struggling a little bit. So that's important that, we speak, we have dialogue. Where the training is concerned, we were flying, but obviously it is what it is. The lockdown has presented its own challenges. And as I said earlier before, it's not undermining what people are going through. The storm is the same, but it's different boats. So there is a bigger picture, and I'm fully aware that people are struggling in different situations, but we need to focus on what we're doing as an academy to make sure that we keep moving forward. And as I mentioned earlier before, in my experience of sort of lecturing and working with athletes and in football and being in this situation last year, on and off, I learned how to adjust the sails. Obviously, we follow the regulations. The coach is aware of that. We keep within those boundaries, but the key thing is we're going to find ways to move forward. Now, very briefly, what's really important, the way we design this is, going forward, is the brain generally works and needs an outcome, and needs a pathway, and it needs a duration. The world that we find ourselves in these days is not the same. So when you take outcome, pathway, duration out of the equation, then you start getting uncertainty. We start to lose motivation and other things as well. So what we need to do really is do mini goals, build a routine, create challenges, do small wins. And even if we take it day by day, week by week, and set goals every week, and we profile ourselves, the first step we're going to do, we're going to profile again and see where you are mentally, physically, like mental skills for the game, physically, tactically, technically, and then every day you plan and do training around those areas, and you set a goal every week to improve an area. Another thing we need to do is read a book every week. There's plenty of books out there on football and footballers. If you can read a book, it's great. It's really important that you do that. The small wins are important because you do the goal, then you have a pathway, duration, outcome. It takes your mind off everything else that's going on, and you sort of focus on these sort of small wins, and that stimulates motivation, the brain reward system. Because when you achieve something, then it fires chemicals in the brain, and it sort of increases motivation. Obviously, there will be times where that you'll feel frustrated, whatever. And that's why I said encourage you to speak, talk, support each other as a group, and sort of move forward in those areas. Now, to create, we need to sort of set these mini goals. We need to sort of, get you to, reading. You can do things like mindfulness too. If you find that, okay, we need to sort of relax and sort of take your mind off things. Also, the fitness test we need to do every week. If you can do a fitness test related to football, I know it's challenging. You may not have the equipment that you normally have, but as a barometer, do the fitness test. So things I'm going to recommend, moving forward, we need to focus on these small wins. That will give you confidence and motivation. So you're going to set a goal. The goal could be to kick left foot, right foot, dribble, run, the fitness test, a challenge every week if you can. That could be to do 1,000 kick-ups, 100 left foot. So you set yourself a challenge, and that will give you the buzz as well. What is also important that you do too is you do the mental skills, like visualization, rehearsal. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to go back to doing a weekly plan. So every week you plan. I'm well aware, so you've got college, you've got school, other commitments. If nothing else, this will help you in that area too. So you'll learn about how to do that. That's going to be a key. And you may even, if you go to college, uni or school, even share that with the teaching staff and say, look, the brain works. We look for an outcome, duration, a pathway. When you take that away and you have uncertainty, then motivation becomes a struggle. So the way we're going to work our way around that is to do small wins. I'm going to call them small wins. And when you do the small win, you celebrate the small win. Okay. So the key steps we're going to do, guys, is step one, we're going to profile. You're going to write your profiles out when you can, where you are on a scale of 1 to 10, technically, tactically, mentally, physically. Then having done that, you're going to focus on areas that you need to improve every week. Do the fitness test every week, improve it, and this sort of then will help you. Then obviously you're going to work throughout the day and have rest, recuperation, and if you're struggling, like we mentioned earlier, we encourage you to speak as well. But they're going to be important and instrumental, because we're not just going to tick over. We want to make sure that going forward, as and when we get playing again, we can hit the ground running straight away, on the off, bang, on it, which is key. Having said all that, it's important, obviously, to sort of make sure you speak to the coaches, and the training you do, it's all within the guidelines and the rules and whatever. That's obviously important. But from my perspective, we'll do everything that we can to work. So it's going to mean feeding back weekly where you're up to in these areas, continuously looking at that. And the idea behind that is to make sure that when we sort of get and hit the ground running again, you're good to go from the off. So it's about now focusing and thinking, okay, it's not ideal, it's not easy, but what can we do to move forward to the best of our ability? And when the time comes and you're back competing again, then you are, there and thereabouts. So we need to go for these small wins. Whether you set the goal, target daily, an outcome for your session, but every week you need to set yourself a goal and a challenge, and go after that goal and challenge, and monitor the different components of football. That's really important that you do that, because you're at the level now where you are at a level where you are looking to play at the highest level possible. We have to stay focused on that. So I'm going to bring up a profile. I'm going to hit the ground running now shortly, and then we'll sort of go from there. So I'm just going to bring up a profile, and I'm going to sort of talk through the steps. We'll have an open forum, and we'll go through this, and you can think about this, and I'm going to guide you step by step to set these small wins for you to go away, do the physical training, to set yourself a challenge, to be able to give yourself some goals and routine and structure, and compare yourself to you as a footballer. So try and be a better player today than you were yesterday, and a better player tomorrow than you were. So you would keep building and sort of going from there. So that's going to be an important component.